welcome to HITC Sport, and this has just been a bizarre year. The weirdest year of anybody's life. I mean, for Christ's sake, Jake Paul actually fought on a Mike Tyson undercard. I mean, come on. But in the footballing world, I'm gonna run through the 50 weirdest moments that happened in this sport in 2020. And lads, this really just sums up what a strange and stupid year this has been. Right, let's go. January, Paul Lambert's 5-year deal. Imagine beginning the year by offering a 5-year contract to the guy who oversaw your first relegation to League One in 64 years. Begging Paul Lambert to stay for another 5 years of life. Why don't you also stuff a hungry badger down your throat? Why don't you also swallow a bowl of candle wax? It's just nonsense. It's not as if he was even on a good run of form, which might have tricked the board. No, by January, Ipswich hadn't won in 8 games. They just conceded 5 away at Lincoln and had recently lost to Accrington Stanley. So I guess the natural response to that is to lock down Lambert for another half a decade. It's their own fault the end of the season, with 7 defeats from the last 9 games, winding up 11th in League One. For a club who've won the Europa League, that is awful. Watford's FA Cup refund. This is just embarrassing. When Watford, the reigning FA Cup finalists, let's not forget, were given a 3rd round replay at home to Tranmere Rovers, the fans were already buying 4th round tickets against Man United, only to then see their team chuck away a 3-goal lead, forcing the fans to have to apply for refunds. Club Brugge fans chuck flair at Mignolet. Any Liverpool fans wondering what's happened to Simon Mignolet these days? Well, here he is trying to take a goal kick for Club Brugge beside an actual flare that had exploded in his face. I'm sorry, but whatever Neanderthal, brain-dead Anderlecht fan thought this was a good idea. What was the best case scenario here? What, blind the goalie in both eyes? Great, well then that's you locked behind bars for 6 years. Please, Anderlecht, stop selling matchday tickets to men who were clearly born with a sandwich for a brain. February, Martin Braithwaite signs for Barcelona. Okay, I realise you all seem to love Martin Braithwaite the same way you do Odion Gallo, and I get it, it's a great underdog story. Former Middlesbrough flop given a job opportunity at Barcelona. I know, it might as well be the sequel to Goal. Actually, there were 2 sequels to Goal, and they were both just awful. But let's face facts, lads. Braithwaite has scored 2 goals in 18 league games. Can I just remind you, here's a few players who've worn the number 9 shirt for Barcelona. Hristo Stoichkov, Michael Laudrup, Ronaldo, Patrick Kluivert, Samuel Eto'o, Luis Suarez, and now Martin Braithwaite. Harry Wilson wears Liverpool jacket. When you try and think, how did Bournemouth get relegated? We're such a talented squad, and then you remember that it's probably because that squad had all the commitment of a Las Vegas marriage. Harry Wilson, their Welsh talent on loan from the Champions of Europe, actually sat in the stands for their trip to Anfield wearing an actual Liverpool jacket. He's come out with an excuse. Oh, I was just cold. I don't care if you're suffering from frostbite. Don't put on a jacket with the club crest of the opposition of your team on a match day. Do you know what that looks like, Harry? It looks like you're actively cheering against your current employers in the middle of a relegation battle. It would be like if Anderson Game's mother turned up to his big fight in Las Vegas by wearing Jake Paul merch. How could he think this was acceptable? It's like attending your own wedding with a photo of your ex-wife stapled to your chest. Just utter disrespect. Most Bournemouth fans probably reacted to that the same way they'd react to eating a bowl of afterbirth, i.e. getting sick out their nose. Adebayor's karate kick. Listen, Emmanuel Adebayor, he's made mistakes on a football pitch before, but you'd think he'd have mellowed in his old age. No, if anything, he's gotten even worse. Does that look like he's mellowed? This is a tackle which makes Nigel de Jong look like a choir boy. He's out in Paraguay with Club Olympia, and he's tackling like a wound up Bruce Lee. April, Danny Drinkwater's headbutt. Danny Drinkwater's a man desperate to get his career back on track. And so, given the loan at Aston Villa last season, basically given the exact same chance Ross Barkley was given this season, he instead decides to headbutt his own teammate in the face. Yeah, that's mighty clever. As for his Villa future, he might as well have walked into Dean Smith's office that afternoon and taken a large Weetabix smelling shit on his desk. May Jadon Sancho's haircut. There is no better way to accurately sum up the lunacy and the height of how weird 2020 has been than this actual headline.
Jadon Sancho slams joke German league after he's fined for getting haircut.
Yeah. Yep. This is 2020. June, Jonathan McDonald Burger King advert. We've seen last season, Huddersfield got in trouble with their Paddy Power marketing slogan on their shirts for a friendly. Well, fast forward a year, and a 32-year-old Costa Rican footballer agrees to walk onto the pitch with Burger King on his back. I don't get it. If you wanted to sell your soul to the devil and advertise a fast food chain for a fat chunk of cash, then why not just get Mackie D's on the back? Because Your name was already Jonathan McDonald. Ryan Fraser quits. How has Ryan Fraser been given such an easy ride for opting out of a relegation battle? Newcastle fans still hate Michael Owen a decade later for his lack of commitment when they went down in 2009, but at least he did play a part in 9 of the last 10 league games that season. Now they've welcomed Fraser with open arms, who treated Bournemouth even worse. 9 games. 9 games of football. That is how many he sat out after lockdown. Not because he was injured, but because he was scared of getting injured. Ducking out of a relegation battle for the club who'd been paying his wages for 7 years, just to make sure he was fit and well for a transfer in the summer. Bournemouth were relegated by just 1 single point. And so I'm pretty sure if they had Fraser for those final 9 games, a guy who was second only to Eden Hazard in the assist charts the previous year, then they would still be a Premier League club. I'm Saliba Fraser. Utter disgrace. Man United extended Gallo contract. Listen, I thought the initial loan signing of Udi and Gallo from the Chinese wasteland in January was all kinds of weird, but hey, at least he proved his purpose in the cup competitions. But why? Why would you extend his deal until June, continuing to pay him £100,000 a week when you were just going to bring Edison Cavani anyway? If you just forget about the EFL Cup for 1 minute, then a Gallo has played a combined 10 minutes of football this season. 10 minutes. Takes me longer to squeeze out a morning dump, but then again, that probably has more to do with my diet of eating apple cores and chunks of newspaper. A Gallo has not scored a Premier League goal since September 2016. Why would you extend his loan deal at Man United? It's like agreeing to go on a second date with someone who spent the first one telling racist jokes and getting sick in your face. Oh, by the way, let's try and hit 500,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If you're not subscribed and want to see more videos like this and the skits that are returning next month, then please smash that subscribe button and you'll be the biggest legend on the planet. Right, let's go. July, Birmingham retired Bellingham shirt. Oh, this was just sad. Retiring a shirt number, it's a statement of respect. An honour reserved for players who've sadly passed away or club legends who've devoted 20 years of service. Jude Bellingham hasn't even been alive for 20 bastard years. If you were told that a 17-year-old would have his shirt number retired at Birmingham this year, you'd assume he'd been hit by a bus. No, his legacy at the club consists of 44 appearances, scoring 4 goals and finishing 20th in the championship. 2 points off relegation. He didn't win any of his last 14 games in a blue shirt, and he was only ever on the winning side 10 times. Great, he helped them win 10 bastard games and scored the same number of goals last season as Gary Gardner, before deciding he'd suddenly outgrown them before his 17th birthday and ditched them for a bigger club. Crazy, but why stop with the shirt number? Why not burn his seat in the canteen? Change the name of the club to Bellingham FC. Erect a goddamn statue outside the stadium. Although if you're gonna start sticking statues of underage children outside the ground, just be prepared for an increase in parish priests applying for season tickets. Yaya Toure trains with Leyton Orient. I'm sorry, but seeing an utter world footballing beast like Yaya Toure training with Leyton Orient makes about as much sense as seeing The Rock go on a date with your great aunt Irene. You know, the one with a face like an orange and who mostly smells of expired cheese.
League 2 ain't ready.
No, they aren't ready because it's not going to happen. Lads, did Leyton fans actually think that Yaya Toure was going to line out for them against Forest Green Rovers and Grimsby Town? This guy almost quit the Premier League because he wasn't given a handmade birthday cake. I know he's 37, but the prospect of ending his playing days in the midfield with Joby McAnuff, I'm pretty sure he'd rather set himself on fire. Watford sacked Nigel Pearson. Yes, look, I realise Watford are utter committaphobes. Crazy enough, I'm almost positive the owners don't have wives, or at least they definitely shouldn't, because they probably threatened divorce papers if she burnt the Sunday roast. Getting rid of Nigel Pearson in the middle of a relegation battle that he is winning? Mental. That's like if the Mayweather team had thrown in the white towel after 4 rounds with McGregor. They weren't even in the relegation zone. I'm not saying he'd have definitely kept them up, but they'd have stood a better chance than just putting the glorified PE teacher in the dugout. Huddersfield sacked Danny Cowley. Listen, when Danny Cowley was appointed Huddersfield Town boss in September 2019, the club had lost 33 of the previous 44 games, including just 3 wins. 3. It was a club who'd forgotten what 3 points even tasted like. Cowley comes in, steadies the ship, keeps them in the league with a vital win against West Brom in July, and then Huddersfield thank him by sacking him within 48 hours. Does somebody want to explain me why? Derby County give Leeds guard of honour. The feud between Derby County and Leeds. Recently it stems from the former club's outrage over Marcelo Bielsa's Spygate. Actually, maybe this rivalry goes back as far as Leeds' treatment of Brian Clough. But then, Derby thought they got their revenge when they tore Leeds apart in the playoffs in 2019. No, I think Leeds United, when they forced Derby to give them a guard of honour at Pride Park, shows you that they got the last laugh. But honestly, they should just do away with the guard of honour. Are you telling me anyone one of those Derby County players were offering a sincere round of applause, those Derby players would probably rather have had a sniff of their granddad's ball bag after he spent an entire day on the couch than applaud those Leeds United players onto the pitch. Wayne Rooney, Manchester United club legend, here he is clapping Leeds. He'd probably rather email photos of his kids to Rebecca Vardy. Wigan 8-0. I'm surprised HITC 7 has continued to upload regularly this year. I'd assume after watching his team concede 8 against Wigan Athletic that Alfie would have just given up his love for football and instead decided to take up the sport of knitting jumpers. Yes, Hull were in free fall ever since selling Jared Bowen, but in the space of 10 games to go from Premier League promotion pushes to conceding 7 first half goals against a Wigan team strangled to death by financial problems, who were just given a 12-point deduction, a team at crisis point, a team whose morale should have been stuffed so far down the toilet that Pennywise the clown could have smelt it in the sewer. How do you let that shambles of a team beat you 8-0? William Saliba's Arsenal recall. As I don't think William Saliba is ever going to play for Arsenal. In 2019, he was one of the most highly rated defenders in Europe, and Arsenal pipped Spurs to sign him. But since then, it's been an utter mess. He was loaned back to Saint Etienne, only for Arsenal to needlessly recall him days before their Coupe de France final against PSG, denying a 19-year-old kid his first crack at a cup final, to instead let him rot in the reserves for 6 months. It's almost as if Arsenal were trying to make him hate them. And you know what? He probably does. August, Luis Suarez 1-minute phone call. Listen, if we just discount the freakish footballing god that is Lionel Messi, then Luis Suarez is Barcelona's record goal scorer of all time. Most clubs recognise that sort of feat with a token of appreciation, a statue, or at least a role within the club's backroom staff. But Barcelona are no ordinary club. No. Instead, they end their relationship with Suarez by letting a failed Everton coach break up with him on the phone. Not only did the Barcelona president not do this himself, but he just got the new employee to do his dirty work for him. It's a bit like deciding to break up with your wife of 40 years, the mother of your kids, by just getting your Uber driver to send her a text. Apparently the call lasted no longer than 1 minute. Judging by the size of Koeman, I'm guessing it probably takes him longer to climb out of the bath. 60 seconds, the same length of time it takes to eat 3 sausage rolls, the same length of time it takes to squeeze out a morning dump, the same length of time it takes me to successfully make love to my couch. This guy arrives at the new camp at a relatively late age of 27, and in the middle of a biting scandal, only to then go and score nearly 200 goals, outscoring every footballer to ever exist at Barcelona bar one, winning 13 trophies, scoring in El Clasico 11 times, and yet you treat him the same way you might treat a case of genital warts. Coutinho destroys Barcelona. Barcelona Football Club lost a 90-minute Champions League knockout round match by 8 goals to 2. 8-2. And not only that, Philippe Coutinho, the piece of midfield cottage cheese they'd allowed Bayern Munich to just borrow for a year, why did they just put in his contract that he couldn't play against his parent club if they met in European competition that season? Maybe then they wouldn't have conceded a further 2 goals. Yes, 6-2 would be embarrassing still, but 8-2, that's not embarrassing, that's a farce. That's the type of scoreline you might see if you played your granddad on FIFA. You know, the one with arthritis in both hands and who still thinks it's 1984. Barcelona allowing a player of his ability to play against them. It's a bit like if Floyd Mayweather had allowed Conor McGregor to use his legs. Pretty sure Floyd would have left that ring in a f***ing coffin. Aubameyang as a midfielder in Fantasy League. I'm sorry, but the fact Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was down as a midfielder in fantasy football this season, when he and N'Golo Kante are classes operating in the same area of the pitch, and something has severely gone wrong.
Boy, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Stuttgart's fan fundraiser for Messi. Listen, fundraisers are a great idea, usually to help charities or struggling businesses. You see it all the time on Facebook.
Oh, for my birthday this year, I'm asking you to donate money to get my elderly cat a haircut.
But one Stuttgart fan, a fellow who probably lives in his mother's basement, and who hasn't felt the touch of a human being since 2013, has actually started a potential €900 million transfer to help sign Lionel Messi. Nonsense idea. Ridiculous. But lads, he still raised £7,205. Not to go towards Messi. No, that's probably just bought him a 2-week holiday in the Maldives. I'm sorry, but the naive Stuttgart fans who actually contributed towards this, all you've done is just pay one man's central heating for the next 2 years. Whoever chipped in with donations, you can tell they're probably the same fully grown adults who regularly write to Santa Claus. They're probably also awaiting an email response from at least 6 different Nigerian princes. Sure, if the impossible had happened and you had raised €900 million, do you really think this fella would have put that towards Messi's buyout clause? No, he'd probably just instead pocket the almost £1 billion and just go live on a yacht near a Caribbean island for the rest of his life, toasting to the utter idiocy of football fans nationwide. Brentford lose championship playoff final. Now this wasn't that weird, I just wanted to relive this and remind everyone that no, Brentford did not go up this year. What a bizarre human being. September. Frank de Boer gets Holland job. Holland desperately need a big tournament. For the last decade, they've been about as inconsistent as Jonah Hill's weight. Ronald Koeman breathed life back into the team, turned their fortunes around, and then suddenly he leaves for Barcelona, and they replace him with Frank de Boer. You know, the same guy sacked after 4 games at Crystal Palace, a guy recently binned by a team in the goddamn MLS. Placing your Euro 2020 hopes in the hands of this guy. Oh, it's a bit like letting a farmyard pig drive the goddamn school bus. Kazushi Miura's record in Japan.
Japan's King Kazu, 53, breaks record as oldest player in J-League.
Yeah, you all thought Andres Iniesta was a washed up old man in Japan, right? Lads, Kazuyoshi Miura plays in that league for Yokohama FC, and he is 17 years older than him. Iniesta barely has any hair left, and yet Miura is old enough to be his dad. How is there a guy born in 1967? A guy who made his professional debut 4 years after Mikel Arteta's birth? A guy who made his debut the same year as the Maradona handball? How is he in the same league as a world champion? How is he sharing a dressing with players half his age? How can he keep up with what's culturally relevant? He's probably only getting into grips with learning how to operate a BlackBerry. So the culture of TikToks and Call of Duty 9, back in his day, was all about collecting conkers, tuning into black and white TV, and debating the politics of Richard Nixon. Look at him. The only way he'd have more wrinkles would be if he just ironed his face. Arjen Robben injured on return. Okay, this was just sad. It's nice seeing Arjen Robben coming out of retirement to play for boyhood club Groningen. A great fairy tale end to a glittering career. But clearly, he just forgotten the important fact that his hamstrings are also made of wet yogurt. The opening day of the Eredivisie season, up against another one of his former clubs in PSV where he made his name. 6,000 excited fans turn out to witness his first start since 2018, and then he comes off after 28 minutes with an injury. Christ above, this is a bigger anticlimax than when Cam Kirkham joined XO. Mark Noble tweet.
As captain of this football club, I'm gutted, angry and sad that Grady has left. Great kid with a great future.
I don't get it. Mark Noble has been in West Ham's first team for 15 years. He's seen the likes of Carlos Tevez, Scott Parker, Dimitri Payet, and Marko Arnautovic lead this club. But now he decides to take to Twitter like a hormonal teenage girl who reads Twilight, because the club have just flogged a 22-year-old winger to West Brom for 12 million quid after 0 goals in 17 Premier League games. Just a bit of an overreaction. Roberto Mancini accidentally benched Chiellini.
Roberto Mancini puts Giorgio Chiellini on Italy bench by accident as he wasn't wearing glasses.
This wasn't even a friendly. This was a Nations League game against Bosnia, and you're telling me the only reason Francesco Acerbi picked up an 11th cap for his country, something he and his family will cherish forever, is because the boss wasn't wearing his specs? Sloppiness at its best. October, Choupo-Moting signs for Bayern Munich. How does Eric Choupo-Moting keep doing this? I'm sorry, but going from relegation with Stoke to PSG, yeah, that's a career progression that makes about as much sense as being outboxed by one of the sidemen to then go and organise a professional bout with arguably the greatest of all time. And now, after fluffing that chance of an equaliser against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, clearly the Germans were so impressed by his complete lack of goal-scoring threat that they've gone ahead and offered him a 1-year deal. Why? 6-1 and 7-2 on same day. October 4th, 2020. This was the weirdest day in Premier League history. Man United 1, Tottenham 6. 3 hours later, Aston Villa 7, Liverpool 2. Adama Traore called up by both countries. How does this happen? How does a fully grown 24-year-old man receive international calls from both Mali and Spain? This guy is nearly halfway to 50, and nobody knows what nationality he is. Ozil offers to pay for Gunnar Suarez. Yeah, we live in a world where Mesut Ozil, the guy paid £300,000 to sit on a couch in London. We live in a world where even he is self-aware enough to realise how backwards it is that he earns that sort of money when Gunnar Suarez, the long-standing Arsenal mascot, is being told the club can't afford his salary anymore. Making a normal everyday man with a modest wage redundant, only to go and offer Willian a contract worth £200,000 a week. Honestly, it makes you sick in your mouth. Benzema's fallout with Vinicius Jr. Karim Benzema is a great footballer, and his legacy at Real Madrid is unquestioned. But as a person, I'd probably rather live in a tent with Katie Hopkins than I would spend any length of time in Benzema's presence. Everything I hear about this man just screams massive adult wet wipe. The type of inflated self-esteem that wouldn't look out of place in a TikTok house. Christ, he's got a feud with Matthew Valbuena. He's compared Olivier Giroud to a faulty go-kart. And now he's told Furlan Mendy not to pass the ball to Vinicius Jr. Saying that behind his back is one thing, but lads, Vinicius is literally 5 feet away. Yeah, that's the perfect way to speak about a footballer 12 years younger than you, a 20-year-old kid living 8,000 miles away from home, under the spotlight of being at the biggest club on the planet. Petr Cech's inclusion. Yes, Petr Cech was a world-class goalie in his prime, but that was 15 years and one broken skull ago. Frank Lampard sticking him in his squad. Oh, you might as well have given the goalie gloves to his goddamn dad. Let's hope for the sake of Cech's dignity that he's not asked to waddle onto a pitch this season. Asking Cech to play a Premier League match now, it'll probably go about as well as asking Jack Black to take a bath. Pretty sure he hasn't washed himself since 1996. Fredi Adu in the Swedish third tier. How does Fredi Adu not wake up every morning and immediately feel like pulling out his own eyes? Remember, this guy was a 14-year-old world prodigy, apparently the best teenage footballer on the planet. Christ, he was playing regular MLS football with DC United. Although let's be real, This is a photo of Pele kissing a 14-year-old child on the face. I'm sorry, but unless you're Adu's grandmother or the local parish priest, you should probably be keeping your lips to yourself. But anyway, now he's 31 and signing for something called Österlen FF, some 3rd division Swedish club who were only formed 6 years ago, and this is their stadium. Fredi Adu, the former child star, is now 31 and playing on a pitch beside a car park and some kind of farmyard barn. Crazy one, this is like finding out that the guy off Drake and Josh is currently sleeping in a ditch and working a job scrubbing toilets in Costa Coffee. VV Venlo 0, Ajax 13. How is this an actual scoreline in the top tier of Dutch football? Yes, Ajax are a talented team with 13 goals. That's the sort of scoreline you might see in Sunday League. Playing against a bunch of hungover lads who can't even remember the names of their kids, never mind the goddamn rules. Listen, we should have known VV Venlo were a tin pot club the same day they offered a 3-year deal to Lee Caramo. I'm sorry, but if you're letting a 19-year-old child in Lassina Traore score 5 goals in your stadium, you should probably just shut down the club and reopen as a 3-star bed and breakfast. Even Klaus-Jan Huntelaar were scoring 2 in 2 minutes, and he's nearly 40 years of age. Ajax had 45 attempts at goal versus Venlo's 3. Lads, I could play a game of FIFA against my cat, and she put up a better fight than this. November, Wrexham's Hollywood takeover. I think this is the moment we reached peak lunacy in 2020. We live in an actual world where Wrexham are now co-owned by Deadpool and Mac from Always Sunny. This seems like an idea these two fellas might have dreamt up down the pub. After 9 pints of rum, they already have 6-bedroom mansions, millions of dollars in the bank. What would possess them to buy a tiny club in South Wales, investing in a stadium that probably smells like a cow's uterus?
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney want Wrexham to be a global force.
Oh yes, I'm sure we'll soon see Wrexham play in Champions League finals because Detective Pikachu says so. I'll make a deal. If Wrexham wind up in the Premier League before your 70th birthday, I will gladly staple my ball bag to the fridge. Julian Lescott comes out of retirement.
Julian Lescott accidentally comes out of retirement age 38 to play for Spanish minnows Racing Murcia.
Yeah, Air Racing Murcia announced the bizarre signing of Julian Lescott. Then he says he didn't realise he actually did sign for them. Yeah, sure thing, Julian. A bit like when your pocket tweeted out a photo of a car, right? December.
VAR equals Lamau.
Jack Grealish. VAR is the reason you're still at Villa Park. If it wasn't for VAR and that one undeserved point scraped against Sheffield United at home, your beloved club would be stuffed in the 2nd tier with someone like Gus Poyet at the wheel. Thomas Partey goes walkies. Who walks off in the middle of a North London derby? Anyway, that's it. Let me know what stupid moments did I leave out here. Let me know in the comments below. Enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.